told them they're putting me in a good mood already, right? Because it's fast. And it's funny, and it's kind of ridiculous in the best way possible. It's a laugh riot.
Good words for it.
It celebrates the history of comedy with songs, jokes, and sketches from the golden age of entertainment. ATI Live presents Just a Couple of Fools, no big deal, a vaudeville cabaret. Cynthia Collins is with us. Man, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, and we love being here
Absolutely.
all the time.
Well,
always.
let's talk about this production.
Okay.
What we can expect.
Well, this is part of our ATI Live at Feinstein's. We have a partnership with the Feinstein's Cabaret at the Hotel Carmichael.
And you guys do so much there, obviously, as well.
This is our second year having a partnership with them.
Yeah.
So ATI Live, we do one cabaret a month.
Okay.
There. And our next cabaret is Just a Couple of Fools, starring John Vessels and Darren Morell and Mr. Brent Marty on the 88s. And John and Darren are, number one, they're both very hysterical, right? And they're just a couple of fools.
Yes.
But in the best way possible. And John and Darren have been in our shows, our main stage shows, at the Center for the Performing Arts at the Studio Theater. And so they put together this cabaret. They were in our production of The Big Bang, which was last season.
Okay.
And Brent was on the 88s for that, too.
Okay.
So the three of them got together, and as we were planning our lineup for Feinstein's, they came up with this cabaret and this idea, and we were like, fantastic, we'll bring you back. And they're doing all the, like you said, they're doing the really classical, like from vaudeville, vaudeville up through songs from the 20s, 30s, 40s, the comic sketches of Abbott and Costello, just as an example.
But I bet audiences are going to love that.
Well, I think so, because it's things that they're not happening right now. That's not being done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is a bygone era.
Yeah.
And I feel that this show is first thing, a tribute to that.
Yeah.
Right? And all that music, you don't realize how great that music was, okay? And people aren't listening to that right now. Mm-hmm. And so it's a resurgence. Absolutely.
Well, what about this season right now, 2022, 2023? What's coming up?
The season coming up. Let me run down it real quick.
Do it.
We opened with Nonsense at Old Chestnut. It's hilarious. 5 Nuns. It's a show by Dan Goggins. It's been around forever.
I love the name.
Exactly.
So cute.
It's a very funny show. And so that's our opener. Just fun, light, funny. 5 crazy nuns. We continue with Violet. That's our second one. A very heartfelt story of a girl who is searching for something in her life. She got disfigured as a child, and she's traveling from the South across the country to find a preacher to heal her. This is in 1964.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a real heartbreaker, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do The Mountaintop, which is about Martin Luther King's last day on this earth. It's fictitious about that last night, and it's extremely interesting. 2-person play, and it takes place. The setting is the Lorraine Motel, but it's. I won't talk too much about it. It is really
powerful.
A wonderfully powerful play. But there's levity in it, too.
Yeah.
There's comedy in it, too.
Yeah.
It's beautifully written. And then we will close our season with Mr. Confidential. This is a world premiere. So we're very excited about this. We did this in our theater lab last season, which is where you're doing new works and working and workshopping, and we're bringing it to the main stage. And it's about Confidential magazine, which was the first kind of Inquirer. That's how started that yellow journalist, and the man Bob Harrison who created it, and his family, and how they created the magazine.
Well, you guys have so much good stuff.
It takes place in the 50s, so the music is all this really cool jazz style music, and it's a really good show. So we're really excited.
I like
about
when
that.
people get excited about their work.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we should say, without further ado.
Yes.
Let's hear a little something.
It's a very fancy word. Without further ado. Just a couple of fools, Darren, John, and Brent on the keys.
Take it away.
How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Perry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from harm? That's a mystery. They'll never want to touch a rake or a plow. And who the deuce can parley-boo a cow? How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Perry? How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen Perry?
Say, did you ever work the same bill as a flea circus?
No, but I knew a guy that trained boll weevils.
Boll weevils, you don't say.
Mm-hmm. The only problem was he had two different weevils. He had this little bitty weevil that had an acrobat show, and he had this other great big strong weevil that did a weightlifting routine. I only ever had time to watch one of the weevils.
Well, how did you ever choose which one to see?
Easy. I remember growing up my dear mother saying, always choose the lesser of two weevils. How you gonna keep them away from Broadway?
Jazzing around
And painting the town.
Hey, did you know a camel can go 8 days without a drink?
Wow, I wonder how long he could go if he did drink. How you gonna keep them away from harm? That's a mystery. Hey, you want to hear me do an impression of my dog?
Sure. That's an awful high-pitched gal. I thought you had a setter.
I do. He's a falsetter.
They'll never want to touch a rake or a plow.
And who the deuce can parley foo a cow?
The only difference between you and a horse?
What?
A horse wears shoes.
Well, I wear shoes.
Then there's no difference.
There's one difference. How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they've seen